and welcome back to the channel. As always, I'd like to thank those of you who have liked the videos and have subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much. I will keep making these videos if you keep watching them. I'd also like to say a huge shout out and thank you very much to Dan at Braces of Bristol, where I purchased this, which is the FX DRS Tactical in 177. This is a sub 12 UK version. I already had the synthetic stock 177 DRS in sub 12, and so I decided to purchase this with a means of moving this on depending on how I feel with this, either that or keep this and move that on, because I couldn't resist. To be fair, I was at the Great British Shooting Show, bumped into Dan and met him, and to be fair, after having interviewed Johan on the channel, you can watch that video, I was already in two minds at the show to pick one up, and as soon as I met Dan and saw one there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to cave and get one, because I do like rifles with the tactical stock. Before I move on to talk about the rifles, and apart from obviously, yes, one's in a tactical stock and one's in a traditional kind of rifle form stock, but at the end of the day, there are some subtle differences we're talking about. I just want to kind of highlight that something that was annoying when I purchased this, I was expecting to get a bespoke instruction booklet specifically with the tactical version in mind. But no, I mean, in fairness, the same instruction booklet you get for both with pictures of the traditional or the first iteration of the DRS that came out. So something to be mindful of, especially considering that there are some differences here, which I will talk about shortly. Also, just before I move on to the rifles themselves, this is the magazine that comes with essentially the synthetic stock. This is a third-party magazine, which I also purchased, and this is the magazine that comes with the synthetic. Now, these 177 mags hold 16 pellets, and I think the 22s hold 14, but you can see there are some subtle differences on the outside. There's two O-rings on here, and there's just one O-ring on here, and if you look at this hole over here very closely, it's actually slightly larger, believe it or not, than this one. Or am I being a bit blind? They do look, to be fair, they do look the same. It's just that maybe it was me because I didn't have my glasses on at the time, but that is definitely different on this new iteration. And I wonder why they've added that. Interesting. If you know, please leave a comment. So, okay, so before we dive in, let's think, where should we start? Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about the plenum and the fact that they have housed the plenum, which I believe is a 36cc plenum with additional 7 cc's in the block, bringing that up to 43 cc's in sub 12 UK, compared to what they've done here. Now, again, I'll put some stats on terms of the old plenum size, if it is the same, but I did question Johan in terms of why could you not have adopted this similar approach with a smaller protrusion, for want of a better word, coming out of the block, rather than go with this? And his answer was to go with the full tactical look. The fact that he essentially FX wanted to mimic an AR, and just so happens that I do have to one side, bear with me, one of my Neutral 6mm airsoft rifles, just as a comparison. Obviously the magazine on that is considerably larger, but there is definitely visual likeness between the two. And I'm mindful that one of the other questions that I asked Johan was that where does this rifle fit in terms of this is an ideal platform for pest control and hunting, because it's so light, and even when you don it with a scope, it's perfect for going out in the field. And it's just, in the UK, going out with this in the field will be highly questionable in some areas, to be fair. You can see the police potentially wanting to track you down if they saw you. And again, it's not akin to that. If I was to rock around a field like that and or with that, then to be fair, it wouldn't bode well. But it is what it is. Anyhow, let's get on with the major points that I wanted to talk about. So apart from, let's have a look. One of the things is obviously this safety fits in with the form factor of the fact that this entire block over here is all due to fit into this synthetic stock. What I've been told here is that this, apart from the fact that you don't get this tube at the end, neither do you get this rear butt section. You have to buy those separately when you purchase the rifle. All of this is part and parcel of the rifle, and you cannot swap this out, whereas you can essentially swap this action from this stock and put it into something like the PRS or the Saber Tactical stocks that are going round, which are specifically made for bench rests, for example, and they're good options. This is definitely fixed. I'm mindful that if you look at things like the safety, this one is essentially a forward-backward safety. It's got defined clicks. This one over here, again with defined clicks, but again forward to fire, up safe. Triggers are different. This one's got a nice angular blade, which is adjustable in terms of its rotation and height. If you look over here, there is still movement over here to do that. Because of the length of this one, you can't necessarily lower it, but at the same time, it's a different trigger altogether. It's still slightly angular, and I think you can curve it as well by adjusting this screw over here, so you can rotate it if you want to. But in fairness, this trigger as well as this are both really, really nice two-stage triggers to use. In terms of cocking both of these, both the same. They've got a very, very smooth cocking lever on them. So I've cocked them both, bear with me, there. And both are currently in safe, so I'm just gonna put them into fire. And I'm mindful that they have a crack to them. The trigger on this one has been adjusted slightly, so it's got a very, very short stage and into second stage. Here we go. There you go. It's got a crack. You definitely need some form of suppression if you are taking it out in, say, for example, the back garden, or you're taking it outside. Over here, this one's got more of a pronounced first stage, straight out the box. There you go. And then, that's a lot louder. Definitely a lot louder. Obviously, because this is the tactical version, you've got this massive Picatinny rail along the entirety of the top of the rifle. You've got an Arca rail underneath with M-lock slots over here. What I'm mindful of is that these aren't M-lock slots over here, which I was interested to find out, well, why didn't they do that? But it is what it is. They could have done that, but it won't be long before someone makes some form of adapter. The grip itself, I've been told, is the same grip that comes with a beaver tail over here. It's the same grip that comes on an impact. This is the tube that I was fortunate to get from Dan, and essentially I've got to be careful because it's I've got one hand holding the camera, so I can't really adjust this. But it is Magpul, and it is a very nice rear butt over here. I'm just going to flip this over. Okay, there we go. Just take a look at it over here. Now, I've been told that you can fill these up to 230 bar, and there is if you get a carbon tube, you can take it up to 250. I've also seen that over here you can add a gauge for your regulator as well. And since this has been out, you've got users that are doing that now. So taking this down over here at the end, you've got a thread protector over here, so you can take that off and put a suppressor of your choice, moderator, whatever you want to call it, something that would fit in nicely with the diameter of the essentially the barrel shroud over here would be nice. Again, just in comparison with this, I just can't get over how light this is. This particular one's got the pick rail on the top. It doesn't come standard. This one has also got sling studs attached. Also on here, I've left the filler probe on here, but essentially it's the same type of filler probe that comes with, this is the one that came with this synthetic stock, and that's the one that comes with the tactical stock. Pretty much the same. I'll just pop that back in over here. Again, that one's filled up to 200 bar over here. And moving forward, to be fair, this is so light. This is such a light rifle. It is really, really nice in regards to consideration towards taking that out in terms of pest control. I'm not disputing this is either. This has got the look and feel to it. What I am questioning is when that's got a scope attached to it, depending on what scope you're going to put on it, and or sighting aid, whether or not you're going to put some form of red dot or some form of visual ocular to improve your vision there, then that's going to add further weight to the fact that this is all one piece of aluminium over here. Then you've got the block over here. So something to consider. Also mindful that I might swap this out. I am keen to know if the Sabre Tactical grips, the skeleton grip in particular, will fit here, whether or not, I can't recall if it's beaver tail or not. So that's something I might swap out and mod it out. What I'm keen to do next is obviously test both of these out against each other. Now this one's had a fair few pellets down it, and you know, it's been leaded in, bedded in, whatever you want to call it. This one hasn't. But at the same time, I'm keen to see out of the box what this can do. Now, I'll tell you now, I did try to clean this, and it's proven very difficult, because when we tried putting, my friend Steve and I at the range tried to put the usual straw and the patches through it, we couldn't do that, and we're mindful that we didn't want to interrupt anything, especially because the air is around the barrel. So I ended up shooting pellets, essentially cleaning pellets down here. So yeah, something to be mindful of. If you've had luck cleaning yours in terms of the barrel, then yeah, that's great. Please let me know, just so I've got a bit of confidence to do it. I just don't want to mess anything up. I am keen to try these both out and see from an accuracy perspective how they do. I have tried this one, and it's very good. I've tried it at 30 yards plus, and I was really, really impressed with the accuracy, which is why I picked it up. I hope this is also of the same ilk, or demonstrates potential, considering it's straight and brand new out the box. But I'm just, again, I did question when I first saw it. Don't get me wrong, I was wowed by it and thought, great. But then I was like, where's the place for this? I mean, okay, you can potentially get around in different countries walking around with this. But if I was to walk around, like I said, with that, doing some form of pest control, it just, yeah, it does bode a lot of questions. And or from the perspective of whether or not you are doing or carrying something which is subtle and can be easily housed in a bag versus something like this. So yeah, let's see how it does. What I'm keen to do though is definitely put one of my decent bipods on here, maybe one of the overbore bipods, and fingers crossed, let's see if it is going to be a good shooting experience. But that's it for now. I think that kind of overviews my initial impressions. Yes, I like it. It's a tactical rifle. Yes, it's cool. I mean, to be fair, it's got the tactical look and feel of, you know, an AR over there. This one does the same thing. So FX have hit the nail on the head in that respect. Does it shoot well? Well, that's something I'm going to find out. So stay tuned to the channel, see how we get on. But for now, thank you very much. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the follow-up to this. And also, trust me on this, I've got some really cool stuff coming up. If you've seen the shooting show, then you've got an idea of potentially what's coming to the channel as well as some other very, very cool new stuff. So that's it for now. Thank you very much. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.